Hello and welcome back to another episode of the RotoWire Fantasy Soccer Podcast. My name is Andrew Laird, Senior Soccer Editor of RotoWire. Joined on this Monday, January 11th by Jordan Cooper to talk about Tuesday's massive two-game Premier League slate. Jordan, it may not be massive in terms of number of games, but the main GPP is actually bigger than what we've been seeing on Saturday mornings, which is usually their main Premier League slate. So it seems like non-staggered start weekend mornings may not be as attractive as mid-afternoon, midweek action. So surely we should be getting some bigger slates coming up, right?
Well, hopefully, but I mean, if it's going to be two-game slates or something, it's kind of a luck box type of GPP anyway, because you'll have to find the random dude that scores.
But other than that, we're fine.
Oh, other than that, right? What is it? What is it? Probably it's 20,000 at first. Fifth place is $70.
It's not quite that bad. I tweeted out earlier today that it's like 4 a.m. tomorrow's League of Legends main GPP is actually bigger than the soccer one. It's 60,000 total, as opposed to 50,000. And that one is 20,000 to first, as opposed to the soccer one, which is 10,000 to first. So they literally just made the GPP $10,000 bigger and just gave it all to first place. That's it. That's the only difference. I mean, obviously there's some more entries, but in terms of like actual winnings, it's so stupid. This one, 10,000 to first, 700 to sixth, which I didn't realize how bad League of Legends GPPs were until I compared it to the soccer ones, which I think are horrific. And I was like, oh, I would take this soccer one every day. But
well, I mean, we have a two-game slate here. Manchester United are the biggest favorite. They're at minus 214 currently. Away favorite to Burnley. That's the higher total, 2 3/4. And then we got the Wolves are a marginal plus 149 current home favorite against Everton, and that's hovering around 2. But with the pricing on this slate, you're gonna not play someone that you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make priorities.
That's actually a nicer way to put. You're gonna have to play multiple people you do not want to play.
That's the only way to make a lineup. So yeah, you're gonna have to figure it out. You're gonna have to fade someone that's over 10K that could kill you.
But other than that,
it's a wonderful slate.
we have forward options. If you want to fade the highest floor and potentially highest ceiling player on the slate.
True, but then you can't fit in the highest floor, highest ceiling player in the midfield spot.
That's what I mean. If you fade him, then you're fine.
Right, but then you have to fill forward spots with people that who knows who you're going to be playing. To me, that's the question of the slate: is do you play Bruno or not?
I mean, I actually think for cash, it's not a question.
That you do or you don't?
That you do.
Really?
I mean, look.
I think maybe it's the other way around.
I think you're basically not playing him so that you can play James and Pedro Neto, right?
Right, but the problem is that the midfield, I could find defenders or midfielders at cheaper prices that I don't mind in my lineup, but the forward slots are just like, it's the same thing that we always see with forward, is that it's very rare to find a 5K level forward that is worth playing, but you could find midfielders and defenders at those prices. So if I'm going to fill in forward spots, why don't I just fill them with, that's where I play the expensive players. Like we have up top James and Neto. So do we have any indication on whether or not Lucas Digne is going to start? Because he came back, he played like 28 minutes or something in the last game. Would you say that if Digne starts, that it takes a little bit of the luster off of James?
Not enough. I think I look at it. I don't play Digne at his price, but I would say that I think James is better than a $700 difference to Neto. and he's priced as if maybe he's sharing with Digne. So if he's not, which he wasn't like before Digne got hurt, then I think either Neto is too expensive or James is too cheap.
Okay, so if you're going to play James, do you play James with Neto? Do you play Traore if he starts, or do you play one of the three possible frontline players for Man United?
I think Traore gives you an out for playing Neto. I think his floor is high enough, and not having to worry about the set pieces plus the drop in salary. I think that's going to James Traore is going to be a popular combo.
Right, but outside of that, like the problem is in getting Bruno, then who are you playing in who are you playing in your forward spots?
James and Traore.
How do you play James, Traore, and Bruno?
You just pay down in midfield.
And defense and goal and everywhere.
I mean, we'll get to that as well, but like I think there's a possibility that like if Telles doesn't play and Digne, like I don't think you're playing him. Like I don't think you have to pay up at defense.
Okay, I'm just pondering. I'm just questioning because that's the trouble of like how do you play two expensive enough forwards, at least Traore and above, and still play Bruno while still having a decent lineup. But I mean, all these other forward options, I mean, these aren't cash vibe. I mean, what, you're going to play Burnley forwards as a big underdog? I mean, and then outside of that, you have no one. Like, there's no one that's starting.
The only possibility, and because the games are at the same time, we'll know, like, St. Tosun could start for Everton because Calvert-Lewin's out. I mean, his floor is nothing, but he's 4,200 at least. So I think that's your pay down option. I think you'd rather play him than any of the Burnley guys.
That's correct. But I mean, but that's forward. I mean, to me, I mean, I'm playing some combination of James, Neto, Traore, screwing the Man United forwards because what are you really paying for? They really don't have high floors. They're goal dependent more than Rashford. I guess has slightly, but I mean he's 9,200.
Yeah, I was gonna say Greenwood at 6,000. I think is the only real consideration for me in cash.
Right. Well, if he starts, I mean that's the problem is that we don't know that until lineups come out.
Right.
But then in midfield, the only player that you're considering paying up for is Bruno, and that's I mean when I say pay up, we don't have that many midfield only eligible pay up options. But I mean I thank DraftKings to all things holy that they priced Mata enough that even I won't roster.
Yeah, it's
when they make him 6,700, like you make that easy on me. If Mata was like 5,400, then it's like okay, maybe if he starts, I do play Juan Mata. But Ruben Neves is 6,200. How do you play these guys?
Mata's price looks like a captain price in a showdown. But like, there's no way you play Sigurdsson at 8,000 if James starts. So like, that's gone.
But I mean, Coutinho at 5,300 is fine.
He's fine. Yeah.
Right. He's fine. And then I don't mind if he starts, assuming the lineups. If I play Robbie Brady at 4,400 against Man United, like that works.
I think Iwobi at 56 is like worth considering. I just don't see how you end up there.
I don't see how you make the construction work with that. I'd rather play Coutinho at 300 less than that.
Right.
Or for some odd reason, Daniel James starts or something at 5,200. No, you don't do that?
Never again.
Never again.
He's horrible.
Is he worse than Jesse Lingard?
That's a fair question. And it might be yes.
But you have to admit that if I'm going to play a cheaper midfielder, I'm more likely to play like the Man United midfielders.
I mean,
Van de Beek. We're
never going to like Fred as much as we do then tomorrow at 3,200.
Right, yeah. If he's in, he's gone. He's in my lineup, right? Yep. No question about that. Because you're going to need some cheap midfielders. I mean, you need cheap players here. So if I plug in James and Traore and Fernandez and Traore, the average player remaining is 4,020. I mean, come on.
Well, it goes up because you get Fred at 32.
Right. Well, yeah. Then of course, and then you pay down a goalkeeper, and then you play 2 crap defenders. And
no, you're in the mid-low fours for defender.
Yeah, but are there any mid-low fours defenders to play? No.
I mean, there are.
I mean, yes, you have to. You can plug them in. Doesn't mean you like to.
I don't think there are any that you like. But let me backtrack for a second because I just came upon him on the midfield table, even though he's a forward. Do you play JBG at 3,500 if he starts?
I would punt it forward with that.
If you knew he had 0 set pieces, would you still do it?
Yeah, but to me it's the same as playing Robbie Brady, even with
no, because it's a forward spot.
Right. Well, that's what it makes it even better.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, because I'm able to fill a forward spot, and I don't have to. Instead of playing Traore, I play Rodriguez, JBG, and then Bruno, and then I could actually play a decent lineup.
Yeah. Now you can play Mata.
Yeah, so I could pay up for the double I should for Juan Mata.
Mm-hmm. And just make sure you get all of the Man United midfield points. Bruno, Mata, and Fred.
Right, so I get all 7 points.
Yeah.
It's a 2-game slate. I mean, you could if we're talking GPP, you could do anything. You could do anything you want in GPP, but in cash games, I mean, like, the lineup construction is going to be very limiting. But if Telles or Shaw is in, like we saw Shaw take a whole bunch of corners, and Telles will take if he's in. So that's why, like, to me, like Bruno to me is not like a priority, right? Because I could get access to Man United set pieces through Telles or Shaw, then play James, and then not have to deal with playing like 3 punt guys in my lineup.
So you'd rather play Telles so that you can play Pedro Neto?
No, I'll still play Traore, but I'm able to not have to go all the way down and play like a $3,200 defender.
It's in order to get off of Fred. That's what it is.
Well, it depends if Fred's in.
Sure.
If Fred's in, Fred solves all the problems, Andrew. If Fred's in, I don't have to worry. Okay, then I play Bruno. Okay, now we're good.
I mean, Van de Beek is 200 more, and Matic is 3,000 even.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I just have Fred. This is what happens to DFS players. We remember the time where, like, he had a 2 or 3 game period where he actually took a whole bunch of set. And it's like, okay, it may happen again, and it never happens again.
To prove like how long it's been since he took them, he's 3,200 now. Like, guys never get cheaper if they've taken a set piece recently, and it's been so long since he took one that it just fell off the algorithm.
Right. No, I mean, it is long. I mean, we're talking about 2 years. I mean, like, we're not even talking about within the 2020 range.
Mm-hmm.
Like COVID. What, like, the COVID wasn't even a baby when Fred last took a corner kick from Man United.
It might have been a Champions League slate too. It might not have even been a Premier League one.
Right.
But I think all the talk about either Fred, Van de Beek, or Matic should just ensure that McTominay at 4,500 and Pogba at 49 are the ones who start.
Right. Which makes it you can't play those guys.
Right.
But a defender, like, who you play? I mean, you have the Wolves guys. They're okay, I guess. Right.
I think they're good. Semeto's pretty cheap for 4,200.
Yeah. Are they getting you any more than the center backs?
Well, some of the center backs aren't even that cheap.
Right.
But, like, I don't mind the Burnley fullbacks.
They're okay.
Like, Loughton's 3,600.
Yeah, but I mean, they're the biggest underdogs. They're going to be bunkering most of the time.
I mean, they're at home. They're
horrible.
Whatever.
But I mean, I'm not paying $5,000 for Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Right. I would not do that.
I'm not paying $7,300 for Dino without a monopoly of set pieces.
Yeah, like I feel like Digne is priced to have a monopoly of set pieces, but James isn't.
Right. But I think most of the differentiation on in cash games tomorrow is going to be in the defender spots.
Yeah.
Like it can be what punt midfielder, what mid-price defender, and what goalkeeper did you use? Like that's kind of what the build is going to be.
Yep. And if you're a RotoWire subscriber, just make sure that you get into the Discord before lock and ask me who I'm playing at goalkeeper, and then don't play that guy.
Right. You're not paying up a goalkeeper this slate.
I don't know how you do.
I think the common construction is basically whoever starts for Burnley.
Yeah.
Because Pope's questionable. I mean, it could be Norris, it could be Peacock Farrell, it could be whatever. And it doesn't matter that you play Man United with them. Who cares at this point? They'll get 7 shots, he'll get 5 saves and 2-0, and they'll be the highest scoring goalkeeper no matter what.
Right. With the even with the Fred brace. It's very simple.
Right. This is a very simple slate. That's why it's a short podcast.
Yeah.
2 games. What else are we supposed to talk about? I was going into this week thinking that on Tuesday, maybe we have a 3, 4, 5 game slate or something. Nope, they spaced out all the games. Right? You can't have everything good at once.
They also postponed the Villa Tottenham game and moved Tottenham to play Fulham on Wednesday.
Okay.
So we could have a 2-game slate on Wednesday, although it would be staggered start.
We could have a 1-game slate tomorrow. They could cancel one of these games. Who knows?
It's true. Although, they canceled the slate then.
So what was the point of the podcast?
I mean, it could be like the second week in a row that we do a podcast, and then what we talk about doesn't matter since they changed the prices after we podcasted last time.
Right. I was so surprised. I thought they would be like, nope, we're leaving. Good luck making a lineup. We're leaving it the way it is.
What was at least comforting was that not like we obviously were saying like the prices are absurd, but you look at everybody related in relation to each other, and even with the change of prices in relation to everybody else, the conversation was the same. So, and they were still stupidly high. They were only 5% too high instead of 30. Oh, well. All right. Anybody that has any follow for Jordan, you can find him on Twitter at Blenderhead. That's BlenderHD. You can find me at RotoWire Andrew. Special thanks to SoRare for sponsoring this podcast. SoRare is a global fantasy soccer game where you can scout and collect officially licensed digital cards of soccer players. You can compose teams with your cards and compete in weekly tournaments. And if you're a skilled player and rank well, you can earn money and card prizes in every tournament. SoRare has partnered with over 100 soccer teams, including PSG, Juventus, and Bayern Munich. Added Liverpool last week, which was pretty exciting. So visit sorare.com, SORARE.com, to sign up or use the link in our episode description, to receive 10 free cards. Jordan, thank you for that, and good luck on Tuesday.